of the fastest growing trends in fantasy football. One so fascinating, Matthew Berry actually wrote a book about it. The videos are everywhere now on YouTube, often embarrassing, sometimes dangerous, but always funny. As our fantasy expert explains, this week's essay featured is Fantasy Fail. All right, here's what we got coming up for you this hour on SportsCenter. The nation's #1 school recruit Marvin Bagley III is headed to Duke this season. How does his decision to play for Coach K shift the college hoops landscape? Then, all eyes on our fantasy football expert Matthew Berry. Love, hate, and everything you need to know to get you ready for the upcoming drafts. And speaking of getting you ready, WWE superstar Seth Rollins is joining in on the fun. Just 5 days from the SummerSlam, he takes a mini break with us here to talk fantasy football. Don't go anywhere.
You know it. That is Antonietta Collins. She can't wait. I'm Michael Lees. Thanks for kicking it with us for another fresh edition of SportsCenter. On the way, Tony, we've got LeBron speaking out on sparking social change yet again, and the Cowboys will get a much-anticipated debut this week.
But first, Michael, you're never going to guess what happened last night.
Maybe I can.
It's become a daily occurrence. Yes, Marlins Giancarlo Stanton putting on a show. The dude is on fire.
Yeah, fire might even be a strong enough word.
To overturn, there's 2-goal deficit. They're not going to have their captain, Andres Iniesta. What do they have to do today to get that win?
Well, they're going to have to commit numbers going.
Walk-ons may have it a bit tougher than scholarship athletes. They train just as hard and go through college having to pay their way, oftentimes knowing they may only see seconds of playing time. So when programs have the opportunity to hand them scholarships, they know it's a special moment, and creativity is key. Vols head coach Butch Jones knows that. Jones had walk-on Eli Wolf and his older brother Ethan line up against each other for what the Vols call the Circle of Life drill. Then the news came. And MMA gloves, how will this affect the Irishman's punching power? Lucky for us, John Brenkes explains.
Yeah, most of it seriously with a lot of question marks on Twitter. That's what I'm getting right now.
And
yeah.
even from Jags fans,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, they're not even buying in yet. So yeah,
right.
Hot take for sure, I suppose. Listen, I'm not saying they're locked in, but they're asleep.
All right, we'll explain it to the people at home. You crunched the numbers, so tell us why you think that this Jags team is better defensively than in the past.
Yeah, and that's the real difference maker. These games they can win on a week-to-week basis, even if it's just leaning on that defense.
Let's talk about a guy that they were going to need to lean on if they want to win. Blake Bortles has won just 11 games in his career. Among quarterbacks taken in the top 3 in the common draft era, that's the few.
Well, if you have a guy that's struggling throwing so many passes. And in fact, last year, I talked about how well the defense played. They still allowed a lot of points. Why is that? Well, they had the second worst field position in the NFL behind all.
Matt Clay with the insight. You can check out his article on ESPN.com. For more on Bortles, over to you, Fields.
Everything was at his disposal last night, and early on, he checked a lot of the boxes.
Yeah, for sure. I learned from Dan Graziano, our ESPN NFL insider, yesterday that in the offseason, I think he said it here, Winston took a class on leadership,
yes.
How to be a better leader, which I thought was really cool. But then Graziano said, well, he needed that class to graduate. That's what Winston said. Which I thought was very funny.
That must be nice. I was taking guitar to graduate,
Yeah,
so I can empathize.
It's great to be an athlete in college.
All right, also in action.
When he had time and space to throw, looked great. He was putting balls on the money and moving the ball downfield.
I'll tell you, I know wishes they'd have Tyrod Taylor back, the Baltimore Ravens. Right now.
You're not kidding right now. Ryan Mallett's had a tough
Awful
preseason.
time. We haven't even talked about him. Go, Tony.
What was your biggest takeaway from all the games last night?
All the games last night, Jameis Winston was really the one that stood out, and that tailed off a little bit towards the end. But just knowing what we've been waiting on for him, receiving courts that they saw in the slot last night.
Doug Martin's back.
Doug Martin, I know they're going to deal with that suspension.
Yeah.
But when Doug Martin's there in that offense's hole, that's a scary outfit.
Absolutely. John Gruden already put the guy in the MVP conversation.
Gruden already in midseason form, too. We saw Saban getting hyped yesterday. Yeah. Gruden going off last night. It feels good. Football's back.
Thank God. Michael Jr., thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. 9 NFL games on the slate tomorrow. So many questions to be answered as players are fighting for their positions. We got your cheat sheet on what and who to look for in the week 2 of the preseason.
SportsCenter, full slate of games, of course. We want to preview some. One of these games, Cowboys taking on the Colts. I want to center in on the Cowboys. And what a road back for Jalen Smith after that horrific injury last year. Kept them all out, of course, this first season with the Cowboys. He's back. He's going to make his debut. What are people saying about his comeback after 2 years?
You remember Jalen Smith, the star linebacker.
Game of Thrones on Sunday. No spoilers, everybody.
You
Have
know
a little
what
bit
I
of
feel?
honor.
I'm a little behind, like about 3 seasons behind.
It's okay. There's always time to catch up.
I know.
Arya Stark, do your thing. All right, get everybody that got your family. Arya Stark is the young.
To be having kids going back to school. Remember, Daddy, you and mommy are going to have to do some homework, and that's hard. That is, you're happy
What
to
is
go
this
back
new
to
math,
school.
Linda?
I don't know.
What is it? 1 + 1 is 2.
I know, that's what
It
I
will
grew
never
up
be
on.
3.
Marcus, I'm there with you. It can
Last
never
time I
be
checked.
3. Let's keep going back to that.
Off the rails. You're off the rails.
Marcus and Mike, you guys are awesome. This should be a weekly staple, is it?
Absolutely.
I
You
mean,
guys are like magic. You're gold.
Happy to
Y'all look
bring the show
great,
on.
by the way.
more SportsCenter with Coast to Coast is over on ESPN. On ESPN2 right here. We'll stay tuned for First Take. See ya. Have a good week.